Alright, so, and then aging and Down syndrome, people with Down syndrome usually live a lot shorter lives than the common population. And they also experience accelerated aging, so at around age 30 to 40 or so, they experience aging of people, or aging for, that should usually happen around age like 70 or 80. And then, yeah, so the accelerated aging can be seen by medical, physical, and their cognition.
And then many family members and caregivers obviously kind of notice that as they grow older, they kind of slow down with age. And this kind of means they probably aren't as physically active, or they're probably just not as, I guess physically active as they used to be, or like for somebody in their same age, so. And then adults with Down syndrome are at risk of early cataracts and keratoconus. And cataracts, I think it affects your vision, so cataracts,
that's where there's like a film over your eye, so it causes things to be like
blurry.
Yeah, blurry and stuff. And then
keratoconus is just basically distortion of vision, so that also goes with cataracts as well. Yeah, it's related to it. And then, as we said earlier, they're typically at higher risk for hearing loss at probably an earlier age, and they also develop hyperthyroidism, which
causes
like weakness, or
no, it's where, so hypothyroidism is where they have less thyroid than they should, so it causes them to
be more fatigued and like appear more sluggish, I guess.
And it also affects their weight, so they're usually bigger than what their weight should be.
Mm-hmm. And then they're also at increased risk for sleep apnea, which is like a sleeping disorder. And they're also at increased risk for arthritis and osteoporosis. So osteoarthritis is extremely painful, and that can really affect a person with Down syndrome's behavior, so they might be more moody than normal.
Mm-hmm.
And then osteoporosis is...
and they're both affecting the joints, so it causes them, it causes them pain as it's inflammation of the joints.
Yeah, so people with Down syndrome are typically more like hyperactive, but over age they put more wear and tear to like bigger joints in their body. Yeah, like your knees and like your hips, so it makes them more
and it causes
fatigued.
them to not want to
be more physically active.
Alright, and then people with Down syndrome talk to themselves a lot, and it helps them with their cognition and their development, and helps them to like understand things better. It also 97 or 91% of people with Down syndrome talk to themselves of some sort, and it also helps frustrations that they're facing. It helps them coordinate actions and thoughts together. So like if they're like using scissors or something, they can talk out loud to themselves and like tell them to push their fingers together or something like that. And then it helps them to learn new skills and to have higher levels of thinking.
Okay, class, so I want you guys to work individually for this assignment. I want you guys to make your own paper airplanes.
Okay, so first we gotta fold in the corners so that we have the nose for our airplane, and then fold it in half, and no, that's not right. We go.
So in this example, the directions was to create a paper airplane individually. However, Dana is using self-talk method, in which she's talking out loud to teach herself to make a paper airplane, which is helping her.
And then we make a airplane.
There you go. Okay, and then some resources that help with Down syndrome. So many mothers who are about to give birth to a child with Down syndrome might kind of feel helpless and just kind of feel negative towards the idea of that, but it's not all negative, and there's a lot of ways that you can kind of cope with it, and resources that help, such as talking with other parents with Down syndrome. So there's a lot of probably like psychotherapy sessions and, you know, other parent support, like support groups that allow parents with Down syndrome kids to kind of help other parents who are going through the same process to kind of get a better understanding of it. And learning as much as you can about the disorder is also really helpful, so that way a parent is prepared, or both parents are prepared for their child.
A lot of the stuff on the internet though is like, it's kind of, it's negative mostly.
Okay.
So, but you are going to the parent, talking to other parents about Down syndrome usually helps them out more to make them feel better about having kids with Down syndrome.
And then one last thing that we found really helpful through our research was that they have a lot of classes now and like therapy sessions such as speech and like physical therapy and occupational classes, early childhood education classes that really do help with children who have Down syndrome.
Yeah, and it helps them to like learn better and use like be able to do more physical activities and to like
understand concepts of like positive, negative behavior. You know, they're working with specialists who deal with this stuff like every day, so that really helps.
Yeah. All right, and then we found some positive scenario positive reinforcement scenarios, and this was a quote from one of the studies that we found on this, and it's specific. It says specifically, an attempt was made to test whether a group of children with Down syndrome would make a significantly greater gains in certain school subjects when learning was supported by a token economy system than when the same material was taught to a second group of comparable children without the support of a token economy. Both short-term and long-term effects of the token economy were examined by undertaking retests of the same children a year later. The possible generalization effects of the token economy were also assessed by daily ratings of a child's classroom conduct.
Okay, so in this study, they separated children with Down syndrome and then separated children without Down syndrome, and they did a study in which they, one group got a token economy, so they got a reward for doing well in both subjects. So both subjects were language and arithmetic, and studies show that the group that got some sort of token did better in both subjects. And then the other group, those who didn't get a token, were just given verbal praise, like good job or something. And then that study showed that they didn't do nearly as well. They succeeded, they gained more in one subject, but did worse, like didn't do as well in the other. So studies has proven that positive reinforcement with like token, such as like candy or some sort of physical reward, was more successful. Yeah.
All right, and then to kind of conclude, we've just put together a couple sentences. So even though people with Down syndrome experience delays such as cognitive and physical delays and have other physical conditions that kind of slow them down, they have a wide range of abilities that each individual develops at his or own pace that cause them to excel in their own way.
So they can end up having a successful career and like doing well in school. You know, it might take a little slower just because, you know, they do have cognitive delays, but they are just like every other individual. They can do anything anyone else can. And although their progress is delayed, many achieve meaningful developmental milestones and lead enjoyable, highly enriching lives. So they're living successfully and happy, even after old age. And that's it.